Great Green Fleet is a carrier strike group that was involved in the Rim of the Pacific exercise, which is the biggest naval exercise in the world every 2 years. And it was a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, and it's screening ships, a cruiser, several destroyers, a misnamed oiler. Every surface ship was steaming on a mixture of marine diesel and biofuel. Every type of aircraft that took off from the carrier was flying on a mixture of aviation, 50-50 mixture of aviation, gasoline, and biofuel. We did it to demonstrate that we can reach both afloat and ashore. The Navy's goal that we have set that by no later than 2020, at least half of all Navy energy, both on our ships at sea, our aircraft in the air, and our bases, will come from non-fossil fuel sources. And it was, the big news about it was there was no news. We bought the biofuel, put it in the normal supply chain. It got to, as I said, a misnamed oiler was filled with biofuel. We refueled in the air, we refueled at sea, and the planes didn't notice the difference, the ships didn't notice the difference. There was no difference in that and their normal exercises, their normal steaming. And so it shows it works, and we're going to deploy the Great Green Fleet for 7 or 8 months in 2016.
I actually heard there's actually a 1% performance increase. The biofuel is actually better than the old stuff.
It burns a little cleaner, and so there's a little more power, and it doesn't gunk up your engine quite as much.
So how would you address concerns about the cost and critics of the Great Green Fleet?
I would address it this way. Yeah, we paid $26 a gallon for the biofuels for the Great Green Fleet. That was because we bought a very small amount for a demonstration project. Now, the very first biofuels we bought to test an aircraft in 2009, 2010 cost 10 times that because there just wasn't a market, and you were buying sort of experimental amounts. We have, under a law called the Defense Production Act, which says that if you need something for defense, you can, that's not produced in scale, you can invest in it. And so we have 4 companies now, 4 biofuel companies, all using different technology, under contract to, beginning in 2016, produce 170 million gallons of biofuel a year at far less than $4 a gallon. And it's going to be very competitive with fossil fuels. In fact, we're not going to do it unless it is competitive with fossil fuels, but what we do is we bring a market. The Department of Defense is the biggest user of fossil fuels in the world. The U.S. Navy is about 1/3 of that. So we burn in the Navy and Marine Corps about 1% of all fossil fuels burned in the United States every year. We can bring a market. We can make it economical. We can bring the scale to this.